Hey, welcome back. I hope everything works. Seems good so far. Now you can't see the plane. Let me show you. Hey, we're back. OBS gave up. It crashed. That's the third time in a week. I don't know what's going on. Alright, I had my mic in my ears just to check if it sounds good, but with the delay, it's impossible to speak, as you all know. So, that's the plane I flew in real life, like a lot. I think I have the most hours in this plane, like well over 100 hours. I like it. I flew this registration as well, although I think we had a different livery. At least maybe initially we had this, but then it got repainted in a slightly newer livery. The plane is no more. It had so many hours, the school got rid of it. So I'm not sure what's going on with it. And let me show you where we are. I hope it works. It works! So we're in Poland. And we are just south of Wrocław, which is where I live. We are in a small airfield called Mirosławice. I done my PPL exam here, and the plan for today is to fly from here to Wrocław Airport, to north, do some touch and go, and then to Szymanów Airport, do some touch and goes there, and come back the same route. I may or may not have flown this exact route in real life a few times. At least I flew each part of it, like this leg and this leg, so it's gonna be fun. The birds in the sim are super loud, so I hope you like them. I'll be using this VFR map today, but honestly navigating just looking out the window is a little difficult, so I think I'll keep my position on. We'll see, maybe I can have it off, and we'll see if I can actually manage that, the navigation. So I flew this route some few days ago. I scouted it, so I may remember where everything is. Come on, think. And why is this highlighted? Nobody knows. Alright, there's just restricted area over here. Super early stream. I don't know if I have ever streamed that early, so I hope it's gonna work. Now, since the last update, I think my top menu is not showing up. I think it might be because of some of the add-ons I have. Maybe the one that's supposed to hide like this annoying bar that shows every time you move the mouse. So that might be the reason my top menu is not showing up, but unfortunately it means I'm unable to access some features. Okay, let's jump back in. I tried my drone mode before, and the plane just went up flying because my camera was totally not here. I don't know why. So this plane released pretty recently. I actually missed the news that it released. I went to the marketplace and hey, it's there, and I was like, yay, I always wanted this plane. So this developer has a few more Tecnam aircraft already, but I think this one is modeled much better than the other ones. Like the textures look like they have a bit more touch to them. The others look a bit flat, so this one is pretty nice. What I also like about it is it gives you the GPS choice and autopilot choice. So now we have just two radios, and note that when we have the two radios, there's the ADF showing up here. And when we switch the GPS, yeah, we've got the Garmin, and the ADF is not showing up anymore. And there's also option to have the autopilot, which my plane did not have included, so we can have the autopilot here. My plane didn't have it, obviously you just can't fly it all the time, so if I did like 5 hours flight, I had to hand fly it all the time. So let's do no GPS today. One glitch that I found which is a little weird. Let me show. So we'll get the master on and get nav lights on as well. And glitch that I found is that when you rotate the gyro, when you align it, it also rotates the GPS for absolutely no reason, which is a little funny. So definitely no autopilot. We may or may not have the baggage. Let's get rid of the pita cover, which is nicely modeled there. And this is 2020 aircraft, so the workaround mode is not functional whatsoever, but the pita cover and tie downs are modeled here, which is pretty nice, I think. Also, the model looks really pretty. So the glitch I wanted to show you, and I'm not sure if that's the plane maker glitch or if that's just a Asobo glitch. Once I get this position, which will take a while, I'll be able to show you. So in the meantime, we can field our routes. So we're going from Echo Papa Mike Romeo to Echo Papa Whiskey Sierra. So let's field in. And we'll go through Echo Papa Whiskey Romeo on our way. That should be fun. We also have Elevatex, which I haven't used much in the past, so I don't know if I need to start the flight here manually or does it just start it for me? I think it just starts it for me. Seems fairly reasonable, I think. Alright, and my map. How about not having this position? So I have a hard time like hiding this. It seems like there's something glitched there. Right. So now the problem I wanted to show you straight away is that when you rotate the gyro knob, the GPS map also rotates, which makes zero sense because this is just aligning the gyroscope in the instrument, and GPS gets the track from subsequent GPS position fixes that it gets. It's not linked to gyro in any way, shape or form, but it's doing that, which is not cool. So we're not gonna use the GPS. We will just look outside and I'll just look at the navigraph. So switch GPS and we should be okay now. Yes, we are a-okay. So this plane has like 100 liters of fuel total, which gives you roughly speaking 4 hours, but it can squeeze more, way more, depending how fast you fly. Like 5 hours with a reasonable VFR reserve is doable if you fly slow. One difference to my aircraft is that my aircraft was a little heavier version. So airframe is the same, it was just approved for a little heavier operation, like over 600 or 650 kilos. It also had the Garmin, which made it a little heavier. And because of that, the speeds were a little higher. So I'm not sure what all the speeds are here that we should follow. So I'll be guessing there. So they might be a little off, but don't worry about it. What I wanted to do now is get us some more fuel. So because it doesn't pack that much fuel and I was usually flying alone, or when you don't take any baggage, you can just tank it pretty much full. And we need to go to flight planner. There we go. Weight and balance and configure. All right, there's fuel. So quick fuel, 100% fuel, load aircraft immediately. Is there any cargo here? No. And the seats, so just me. That's how I usually flew. 170 pounds. That's about a little more than me. Should be good. There is a way to show navigraph here, but it's a little underwhelming. So I think we'll not be using this. I'll just use navigraph in the external window, and I'll be showing you like I always do. I think that's a little easier to do. The reason I want to do that is because here I can right click and rotate the map, and I need this a lot for the VFR flying. Because if you're trying to read the map upside down, even if you're like me and you usually can do it in flight, it's not great. Doesn't help a lot. So let's get the plane started first. One interesting thing here is that the trim is only electric. There is no trim wheel as such. So I'll just check if it works. It seems like it's working. So we'll get it about here. That should be takeoff position. I think those two mean takeoff position, so we are fine. Right, first things first, we have the fuel. Let's get this parking brake. Let's go to the right fuel tank. Normally there is like a kind of button that you need to pull up before you can move it between off and non-off position. Between left and right you can just freely move it, but if you want to move it to off you have to pull this thing up and then rotate it. I hope that makes sense. Also, it's a stick aircraft, which is super nice. You fly it with the left hand as a captain. Well, as a pilot in command, I mean. There is the throttle. There are some more placards here in real life, and there is a throttle friction knob on the right side, I believe. And there's some more placards everywhere, but not here. Anyway, we're gonna be fine. Let me know if anything sounds off, if anything is too loud or wrong. I think it should be okay. Okra, welcome. Early stream today. It's so gloomy outside. I thought, well, let's just do it. So we are on preset weather, so that should be 10:13. I think we need to go a little down because of the parallax effect. No, that's 10:13 now. How doing, Prokra? Flying right now. Right now on VATSIM. All right, I thought in real life. And how are you here if you're flying? Right. For startup, we need our avionic master off. On this small airfield, we don't need any clearance, so that's okay. Yes, Mirosławice. I did my PPL exam here, so and that was the only flight I did here. Yeah, cool place. Wadowice? No, Mirosławice. Just south of Wrocław. No kremówki day today. Right. This doesn't have mixture control and things like that. So for the startup, they have choke, which is not a real choke like in old cars. It's something a little different, but they still call it choke. And it basically does the trick of adjusting, getting you enough like throttle open and mixture for startup. I'm deaf. No, you're not. You're good. Generator is off. Let's get those strobe lights just to warn anyone that could be around here, so that's much easier to see. And the model, I think, is really well done. I like it. Step on those brakes, and we need fuel pump on. Check that the fuel pressure is in the green. It should also be audible, those like da. Hey Qs, welcome. How are you doing? Nice to see you here. Welcome. Whiskey Sierra is Szymanów, just north. No! There's no airfield in Wałbrzych, to my knowledge. How are you doing, Qs? Szymanów, yeah, just north of Wrocław. That's where I did my PPL, so also did some flying there. UM's in the green. No one around the prop, so clear prop, and we move this thing to start. So to both and then to start. I'm stepping on the brakes all the time. One thing I noticed is you have to hold it in start for quite a considerably long time, which is really good. That's like in the real aircraft. And now it started. So first thing you need to check, oil pressure is in the green already. It should be rising at this point. Generator on. Let's get it to 1000 RPM. Because when it's cold, it will run a little rough on the low RPM. Also, this is propeller RPM, not the engine RPM. The engine RPM, I'll explain in a sec. Let's get the choke off. Now the RPM should drop a little when you get the choke off, but it doesn't do that here. Alright, I'm releasing the brakes. In this plane, there's a gearbox between engine and the propeller. So the propeller, you want it running at 2400 tops, and the engine runs 4,000-ish RPM. I don't know the exact number because I don't need to. So there is a gearbox, and some of those models with the Rotax engine, they will show you the engine RPM, and some will show you the prop RPM. So it's not quite important to know which is which, but you will see that quite immediately. Like 2400, 2500 is the usual prop number that most of the prop aircraft have, so that's quite easy to spot. Right, that's quite loud for me, so I'll get this a little quieter. And we can also get the fuel pump off. Alright, generator is on. We can double check our battery. So the amp is well in the green. That means we have discharged the battery quite a lot, and now it's being charged from the alternator, which means the alternator works as well. What I was Avionics Master. Alright, let's get those things started. How are we doing, Pokra? No school today. Finally. Oh no, he's flying again. Hi, Boxno. Welcome. Meow. Meow. I also had OBS crash just after start today. It's like a third OBS crash in a week. I don't know what's going on. How are we doing? Long time no see. I'm flying. That's the plane I flew the most in real life. Like, I have well over 100 hours in this small little bee. It's super good. I love flying it. Oh, that's why the meow showed up. Hang on. Meow, meow, meow. Right. Sierra Papa is once again Polish wreck. Yeah, that is the wreck I flew, actually, in real life. Like, that's the first one that my flight school got, and then they got much more. But now they're slowly phasing out this model, replacing with the 2008. So I'm not sure if there is any left at this point. That was a better meow. Yeah, there you go. Do you want to dial in all frequencies? Hell yeah, let's do that. So... open airport, frequencies... Does it have that here? Because there's no charts because it's a VFR airport. So there's no frequencies. Normally... On a like real aviation map, those frequencies are written all over here, so that's much easier to notice. All right. Oh, there it is. So 122.605. 22. Maybe we can skip it. We're not flying on VATSIM anyway. There would be a lot of frequency switching in this flight normally, so I thought maybe let's do it. Normally what I do is I note on my knee pad all the frequencies I will need for the flight, so I don't need to look it up on the charts. I just know it's on my knee pad right here, and then I look down and I got it, which makes it so much easier. The other one is Poznan. I think that's Poznan information, but I'm not sure. 12725. Yeah, Poznan information 175. Hell yeah, let's try it. I was thinking about flying on VATSIM today, but because I couldn't use the real weather because it's so nasty, I thought maybe not. So that's some of the frequencies we'll need. I don't think we're gonna make it with all the frequencies. Hang on, I'll just note. And we're back. Second of has crashed in a day, within an hour. That's not going right. So I think we'll just skip the frequencies altogether in that case, if I have to deal with this. Or do we just note them down as well? Hell yeah, let's note them down. So, geez. Echo Papa Mike Romeo, that's 12225. Poznan info 12725. I think they switched to 8.33 separation already, so I'm a little puzzled why it's not reflected here. Maybe because I have so many windows, the OBS is not liking it. I don't know. It's a little odd that it crashed twice already. Comms, there we go. So there is 80s. 124330. And the tower, which is the only one we would reasonably need in this flight. 120255. Alright, and Echo Papa with Sierra. Not gonna be long stream probably today, because the flight is not very long and I feel like not torturing myself. Still takes it all on me doing the streams. 124115. Oh, also Vatsim will be on Unicom anyway. So. I've noted those down. I'll keep it somewhere for myself where I can see, and there is no place where I can see. You know what? I'll just keep it here and I'll keep it down. I'll make it a little bigger, I wonder. I can. Amazing. Alright. What I usually do is I anticipate the next frequency and then put it on standby already, so it's already there and I don't need to fiddle with that. The 80s you would usually listen on COM2 if you have it, so let's put it 124330. And it's taking a ton of time, so if you're not like in the groove and you're flying, it's a bit of a hassle. Right, so that's done. Let's synchronize our gyro because I have been fiddling with it a little bit. So that's 266. Alright, so that's matching. No, it's not matching. It should be around here. There we go. How was the day before so far? All good. Yeah, I voted. I went to a new cafe nearby for a matcha latte and cheesecake. It was okay, like the cafe looked super cozy, but it's okay. I tried to do some photos on a rainy day, but I think I didn't succeed. So I posted them on one of my Instagrams. I normally do like a video of me taking the photo and then just the photos, but it didn't go very well, I think. So I'm not sure if I can salvage that. I'll see. Maybe I can. Maybe it's not all too bad. Just one thing is I usually like film when I'm taking a photo and then use the same photo I took when filming that. But now the one I took is not good. The one I took just before it was way better. Going to support to vote and nudge. Good. Enjoy. So what we do is we'll take runway. Alright, so we are around here, around this hangar. Gonna buy a wing FCU, whatever it's called. Yay, GG. It's great. We're gonna love it. So around here, so we can just taxi and take off runway 09 right. I think there is no reason not to do that. But it's a little shorter than the other one. I think we're gonna be good. I'll probably still need our position to get there, because it's an absolute nightmare. to taxi around here, not knowing where we are. Right, let's get our transponder. So first standby, let's dial in the code. 7000 is the VFR for us. I think we'll be cruising 1500. That's a reasonable altitude. Puts you, yeah. Actually, it doesn't even put 1000 feet over terrain here, as it seems. But we should be good. So let's get this to alt. Oh geez, the strobe light should have gone off as soon as I start the engine. There is no taxi light as such, so use the landing light for taxi. Let's see if my head tracking works. Right, it seems to be working fine. I think I'll zoom out a little. Work for you? I hope it's somewhat readable. And my default view is usually looking a little down, so my horizon is like in that 1/3 from the top, which is a little awkward, but hang on. Let's set this. I think we are looking a little bit off. Let's set this. No more doo-doo. Yeah. Let's set this as our default position. And I think this is a correct height for me. I remember seeing the probe like calling over there. Some of the brakes, release the parking brake. So I'm looking at the chart and we need to go first to the north. The nose wheel is steerable here, which is super nice. Let's see if we can find that runway. Yeah, there we go. So that's the runway right over here. Perfect. So let's take it. Or do we just go on VATSI? No, if there's any controller, I don't want to be explaining that I simulated VFR, plus I cannot set my weather, so it's not cool. I'm stepping a little on the right brake so that the turn is a little tighter. So I should have gotten the strobe light on before entering the runway. Let's get flaps to takeoff position. And there's a flaps indicator here. The way this switch works is you have to hold it down and then the flaps are moving as long as you hold it. So you have to hold it and stop when the flaps gets to takeoff position. How there? Yeah, I know. I'm forgetting things in the sim. Not so much in real life, surprisingly. Alright, our tank situation, both are showing full. We are on the right. We need fuel pump on for takeoff. We can get the pitot heat on, it's pretty cool today. Transponder is alt. Seat adjusted, fastened. Cabin is closed. There is three knobs to close. 1, 2, 3. You can actually open it to flight, but I never dare doing that. Like all the winds, moving my paper around. No, not doing that. Strength, lovely. Mleczki and stokrotki. No, yeah, they're lovely. The dandelion flowers will get your shoes super yellow. I know, I've tried it. You make a run around the airfield, your shoes are yellow. It's pretty fun. Alright, engine instruments. Temperature looks good. Cylinder head temperature is also good. There is a coolant here, so it's air cooled, but there is also a coolant running in the system, which is a little unusual. So heading checked. It's showing big E over here and big E over here. So we're good. Also note that those they go opposite directions. So numbers increase to the right here, but they increase to the left. No. They increase to the left here and they increase to the right here. So this can get you a little boo-boo. Right. Control check. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I have a problem here. Hang on, I need to fix it. So my stick is hitting the thing in front of it. So I need to dagger and fix it. Alright, there we go. Should be a bit better now. Oh, also this big thing on top of my head is just the light. So control check, that looks okay. I wonder if Spud will be having the problem with the rudder today. I did one small change. I powered one of my USB hubs. So that should make it a little better. I hope. I really hope. How do you like the plane so far? I love how it looks, and you know, I have so many memories with it. Feels like home. Right. Full power set. You gently move the throttle so it doesn't cough. And have a look here, everything is the green, RPM looks good. It will increase a little as we gain airspeed. Airspeed alive. I don't need much right rudder, which is a little unfortunate. So rotate here, let it accelerate. I think like 55-60 knots will be the best climb speed. Also what we did in exam is like the instructor cuts your power and, alright, what do you do? And then you're like, alright, I'll land in this field here. So you do that and like, right, I'm landing here, and the instructor is, okay, good, let's continue. And that's one thing that baffles me a lot. You see all this news about airplanes landing on the roads. I don't think it's safe as long as if there's many cars on the roads. I really don't think it's safe. And we have been trained to land in the field, like I have been trained a lot to do that. Right, let's reduce power. Flaps up, landing light off, fuel pump off. We'll keep the pitot heat for the day. I'll trim up a little. So our partner altitude will be 1500, so let's do a touch and go here. I think we'll do it to the right, since actually let's do it to the left and land on the other runway. Need to refresh. Camera is a bit... Oh, maybe it's a problem on my end. No, it seems fine. Hang on. No, it seems fine on my end. One thing I didn't do, I didn't set my heading back to the Big E. Well, let's do that. Never mind, it's better. Cool. Alright, we're getting close already. Let's do just quick 2-turn pattern here. Right, now reducing power a lot. I vaguely remember from the last flight like 1900 is a good power setting for this aircraft. My bad. No worries, Perk. As long as it's good, it's good. So there's the outfit here. We did a super tight pattern. Man, I love it. It feels so good. Like, I feel very comfortable with this aircraft. It also, I think it's modeled pretty well and it flies really well. I just need very small inputs on my joystick. And it's super nice. Oh, and there is the Ślęża mountain, the extinct volcano, supposedly. Right, I'm glad I chose this weather, not the real one. I think we can do this flight on VATSIM in the future. It's gonna be fun because there's a lot of VFR shenanigans you do. We're a little too close to the runway, so I'll head out a little. We're passing a beam right now, so fuel pump on, carb kit off, reduce power, landing light. Now I don't know what's the speed limit for flaps takeoff here, so let's call it 75. I'm not sure if that's the correct number, but let's say this is the correct number until we check in the manual. And I'll fly like 65-ish knots, so we are good to extend flaps for takeoff soon. I have a wing joystick with an extension, so it's super long and it makes it very precise, so it really feels like flying the real aircraft, and it's super nice because, you know, the arm is very long, so you just move the joystick very little and it's super nice. Oh my god, this feels so good. Like I feel at home here in this aircraft. Right, I was saying I'll keep the airspeed, but I'm not keeping it. Right, we can roll out on final. I like doing a little steeper approaches to those grass fields. It feels a little safer to me, it's also a little easier to control for me. And to small GL place via propeller. Box now with the sub, thank you. Welcome, enjoy the emotes. Right, we're super high now. That's not good. I need to bleed off speed, flaps full. I think we're just not gonna make it in the perfect place, but it's gonna be fine. Final check. Carb heat off, flaps full. Lights on. For touch and go, this is okay. For landing, I wouldn't be very sure, but it's still enough to stop. Also no crosswind, so it's super easy now. And my pedals haven't disconnected just yet, so that's nice. Right, that was a no power final. Jeez, that's so nice. Right, apply full power. Flaps go to takeoff position. Now accelerate this plane to 60 knots, and we go to the climb, pitching for 60 knots. Also hold your hand on the throttle, pushing it forward, because of the vibrations, it might actually slowly go back, so you actually need to push it forward. Oh no, thank you for the sub. I really appreciate it. Welcome. Right, 200 feet above ground, reduce power a little, flaps up, trim up, landing light off, fuel pump off. Perfect. So now we need to figure out where to go. So what we do is we go to Point Mike here, which I hope we'll be able to identify. So there is this road, there is this like a village. Let's see if we can pinpoint it down. Right, we are 500 feet up, so... And there's Sky Tower, the only skyscraper in the city. I think that might be this town I was talking about on the map. I feel like the forests are not fully matching. No. Right, 1500, so let's level up here. I'll get it to 1800. That should give us like 80-ish knots. So let's see, we're pointing to the big end now. Let's have a look around. That is the town I was looking for, I think. Yeah, and there is a road here. Is there another road? And there is one more town, so that should be Mike. Oh, and there is a quarry. I think Point Mike is the quarry. So normally what happens is on these VFR charts, so see Point Mike is going from that town, just south of the other town, and I think that is the quarry we see here. So on the VFR charts, normally those points have some description, so you'll know what to look for. Quarry seems like a great place. And one thing I didn't do in this flight, normally I would measure distance and headings on the legs I'm going to fly, so I know which direction to head even if I don't see the things yet, and time it. So I also calculate the time needed to do those legs. I think we can do this next time when we dare to go on VATSIM. Right, so now we'll head to the point Golf, which is like northeast. So from Mike we go to Golf. It's northeast, a big town with we have forests just south of it. There's also a church in the middle of the town. That's what the point is. And see, this 1800 is perfectly giving me 75-80 knots in cruise, which is a comfortable speed to fly for this little baby. So northeast, there we go. So that's gonna be Mike, and there's this forest over here, and the town. And at this point, And now we'll leave, so we'll be leaving Mirosławice airspace at Point Golf, and that's when we'll switch to Poznan information. Now the thing is, all those points and frequencies, they're so packed in this short flight, like it can really get out of hand very quickly. If we're flying in real life. So there's the road going through town. It takes like a weird bend, and the church or something is right over here. As far as I remember, like I remember driving here and flying over here. Right, our altitude tolerance is 200 feet up or down, so I'm trying to keep that as much as I can. So one thing you'll notice, if there is any updraft because there is a thermal, your speed will go up and your RPM might also go up, so you need to adjust the power a lot in cross-fronting flight like this. It's not the most comfortable thing without the autopilot, but because you have to be adjusting it a lot, still it's very cool. Right, so let's do a lap here to buy us some time. We would switch to Poznan information, say hello, we're at Point Golf, and we're proceeding to Point Mike or Touch and Go at... Jeez, I forgot the name. At Strachowice is the name of the big airport. Right. I'm trying to keep that airspeed, power and altitude all at the same time, and as you can see, it's not that easy. Yay, I'm enjoying this. So next, from Golf, we go from Golf to Sierra. I would love if there was a heading and distance here, but there isn't. So let's say that's like 0 to 0-ish, and we'll try to find it. Now, the tempting thing is, if you plan a route like that on a map, the tempting thing is to follow some roads or something, and yeah, that's much easier, but that's not how we do it. What we do is just make a straight line and navigate on whatever is in between and whatever the line crosses over. It's a little harder, but once you get the hang of it, it's very satisfying. So let's get that heading back to 0 to 0. I would also need the magnetic deviation, magnetic variation, which I don't remember what it is here. I forgot. It's like 5 or 9. Right, there we go. Trying to keep that altitude, 80 knots, looks good. There's Sky Tower there, which is in the middle of the city. You can see it from the approach when you come in here on a big plane, but not so much in the small plane. So now, I like flying low wing because in a turn I can see where I'm going, and in a Cessna 150 this would be covering my way. So let's see. We'll be passing the highway at some point very soon. There is a town just to our left, which I think this is the town right over here. Then there's highway behind it, 2 more dots, 1 bigger town on our right, and then Point Sierra is here. And we need our next frequency, which is 120255. So, as you can see, I'm looking around a lot, and I need to fly the plane straight and level, look at the chart, adjust the frequencies, keep track of where I am. It can get out of hand really quickly. Right, so that's the small town we saw just over here, and then there is the highway right north of it. So there is the highway here, so we are a-okay so far. We're gonna pay a big pieniądze just to land in Viscountmere. It is big pieniądze. So I can see the airport right now because I know where it is and what it looks like, and honestly, spotting airports from this altitude is fairly difficult. So that's the airport here. Here is the terminal. Here's the old terminal. There is the runway here. But you can't believe me. spotting that when you're flying for real is a little hard. So oh, we actually are inside their CTR already, so it have been cleared to change the frequency, say hi to them. Before we do that, we would listen to the 80s. Yeah, you can see I'm already behind, like this is getting out quite quickly. So when we were over Gulf, I think we should have listened to the 80s and then switch. I just didn't see the airspace very well. So see, this is the distance between the two airspaces here. All right. So I think the Point Sierra is this village over here, or this town over here. Yeah. And one thing that tells me is, see this little lakey lake? This little lakey lake is also here. So that's Point Sierra, so that makes us happy. Now we busted our altitude. Tactical descent. Also, normally you try to avoid flying directly over towns for multiple reasons. So now what they would normally do is either clear us to enter the pattern or ask us to hold at Sierra. The holding in VFR is not that normal holding pattern you do in airliners, you just fly circles above something. At least to my knowledge. One reason I know that is because we don't practice holdings in PPL training. So VFR holding is just flying circles over a field, over a place. You need to make sure you stay in place because the wind will tends to move you out. Sky Tower, yeah, Sky Tower is here. So let's do one lap here. Also there's the radar. I have scenery from Żywiecki, so that's pretty nice. In Gdynia we have Sea Tower. Oh really? No sea here, only sky. So we have Sky Tower. I am honestly a little sick and tired of living in the flatlands for so long. I miss those mountains on the horizon a lot. Also remember, in the turn you will need a little more power, so it's a good idea to add that power before the turn. Yeah, just wake everyone up here. So the airspeed is a little too high for my liking. Like this plane can fly 100 knots very well, but in my cross countries I did like 80 most of the time. And for my 5-hour flight I did 70 to save fuel, so I'm not in panic. Right, so now they would clear us to enter pattern and report base, probably. That's what they usually do. So let's get that fuel pump on, landing light on. Let's see our tank situation. So we've burned some fuel. Let's check it to the left. Change it to the left. Now I lost some altitude again. Right, and we would call base in a second here. It's a little weird pattern entry because we just enter in some awkward place, but it sounds good. So let's do 2 touch and goes. Let's say they keep us on left pattern. They can choose whatever they prefer. Right. Idle, slow this baby down, which it does in no time. Speed check 75, flaps takeoff. I forgot the car feed. We get the car feed on for a second to warm it up, so it doesn't ice up on the descent, but it's very important to remember to close it before landing. Flaps full in a turn, which is not a great idea. I'll keep this 60 knots, so the speeds are a little lower than what I'm used to because this is a lighter version. Well, airframe is the same, it's just approved for less max takeoff weight, which means the speed are a little lower. Right, super high, no problem, this plane, and take it. One problem I had, I was so used to flying the glider sitting in the middle. What I would do is I would use this as my aiming point and like fly like that to the runway. And I wonder, why is my plane flying sideways? Like I'm aiming right at the runway. And then like, oh wait, I don't actually sit in the center, so what I need to aim with is like here. Like, come on Vex, you can do better. Alright, let's start adding a little power so we can make this runway. Normally in GA we aim at the zebra stripes, piano keys, that's what they call in English. Right, speed looks good, round out, go to idle. There we go. So touch that, hold it, settle that nose down, get flaps to take off, full power, nose is already up. Rotate. Now accelerate it in a shallow climb. And climb up on 60 knots. You normally want to turn what a touchdown. Yeah, it was pretty chaos, so there was a bounce. I had a lot of trouble in the sim doing the wrong thing, like bouncing and then hitting hard. It's much easier for me in real life, so I think with this long joystick it's also easier. Reduce power, flaps up, fuel pump off, landing light off, trim up a little. So what I'm saying, you want to start your crosswind turn at the end of the runway, preferably, not earlier. That will make everyone a little unhappy because you're in an awkward spot. Also, the runway is 29er, so let's adjust our heading back. Wow, there looks like there is some sun outside right now, so maybe you could have used live wire, I don't know. Right, I don't remember the elevation, I think it's like around 300 feet. So let's level up here, have a look. Right. And that should be enough. Let's turn for downwind, reduce that power. So 1900, that's where I want it to be. There we go. There's the runway over here. I have a scenery, so that's why it looks so nice. So let's readjust our game plan. So now what we do is G is fly straight line. We do attach and go here, and then we'll proceed to Point November, which is a little awkward to identify. Then from November to Romeo, which is very easy to identify because the big as bridge. Yeah, Drzewiecki is very nice. So we go to November on the right hand traffic pattern. Right, we are abeam now. So fuel pump off, on, power reduce, landing lights on, carpet on, getting a shallow climb, bleed out that airspeed, shallow descent, speed check, flaps takeoff, fly to Haver mid. Yeah, but also it's mid, but it was there well before Drzewiecki, so I was very happy to pay my money for that scenery. Right, let's do the turn here. That is the highway that you see over here. I need some power back. There's not much to do on final check here, so it gets me a little out of place because I'm like, there's so many things I need to check now, but actually there's like only one important thing to get the carpet off. I think this plane really flies real nice in the sims. It's like fairly stable, really a joy to fly. Rolling out on final here, Right, so we overshot that quite a lot. Get that power to idle, so I can bleed over the airspeed. Flaps full. Right, final check. Fuel pump on, carpet off, lights on, flaps full. Another one. Yeah, let's go. I'll try to make it a little nicer. And I remember all those ones I did so wrong in the past. And mostly my problem is that the travel range on this hardware I have, the joysticks and the yoke, is much smaller than what I'm used to, and it really baffles me. Also, the pedals are still working. So, round out, flare, roll back to idle. Now hold it on the horizon, let it gently touch. Keep that nose wheel up. It's pretty delicate. Now it's down. Flaps up one notch. Full power. I would love to hold that center line. And we're already within the flying region. So let's rotate, accelerate. For accelerate, I get it in a shallow climb, but it's important to not sink. So it's better if you don't sink. Yeah, than accelerate. 200 feet, reduce power to the green range, flaps up, trim up, fuel pump off, landing light off. Perfect. So now we need to locate November, which is somewhere over there. So we're taking off here and we need to find November. So there is like this line of town and then going in here, south of two forests. I bet there's like some hotel or whatever there. So having a nice view. So there's this line. It should be like heading 030. So I think that's this town over here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the place just below us. That's November. Oh, and there's a railway line as well. See? And there, I think, is the railway line. There is a road. Is there a railway here somewhere? Yeah, there is, I think, railway going. Oh, there is the railway. So we're at a good place. Now let's proceed to Romeo, which is the biggest bridge. So previously there was Point Bravo, like bridge, on a different bridge, much smaller. Like this huge bridge here is new. And previously the Point Bravo was like somewhere over here. There is a smaller bridge in this region. And once they built this bridge, I've heard stories that students just went for this one because it's so obvious to see. Do you like rhubarb, also known as rabarbar? I love rabarbar. I mean, I love rabarbar cake and like drink. I don't like eating the thing myself, like raw. It's super sour, but in a cake, it's fantastic. Rabarbar jam. Whoa, I don't know if I ever tried that. My eyes are getting a little tired on the camera. I don't know how people do this for hours. So, right past Romeo, the big bridge, we are leaving controller space and we can go to Poznań Info. I think we'll do quick round here around town and then I'll show where we go. So we can switch to Poznań Info after passing Romeo. And there's a city over there. There's power plant, Sky Tower, another pilot plant back in the distance. And on the river banks, there's like bike roads. I go there a lot. I love like going over here to this forest, and then I drive to the airfield, which we are going next, which is right over here. You see those two hangars. So I live pretty near the river, and I can just hop here and do a bike lap. Like no public roads, just the bike roads. It's amazing. I love it. And keeping this speed, power, and attitude and altitude like reminds constant feeling of the controls. Not a lot of input, but when you look away for some time, your altitude is gonna go way off. So this is like this used to be a place for those barges that go up and down the river to spend the winter. I don't think they often do that now, but you can take a motorboat and just spin circles in that place. And that other bridge I told you about is over here. So that was the old point. It looks a little more fancy in real life. It's like pinkish. So, City of 100 bridges, we have a ton of bridges here, and that big area here is actually an island. So one part of the river goes here, which is a man-made canal, and the other part goes south. I'm pushing the nose down when I want to show you something, and then obviously my altitude goes down. There's a railway bridge, which is nicely modeled. It is blue like that. Show us Tecnam of roads of, no, we cannot fly there, it's forbidden, but it's here. See the big church. There's cathedral here. There's Urząd Wojewódzki here. There's other church here. Another church here. See? Nice. Old town. Maybe. I wouldn't fly there. Poland has this many churches. Yeah, we have a lot. So, what I know, which I think is accurate, but I'm not 100% sure, is that there are so many churches here because there are like two fractions, the Catholics and the Protestants, and they were like competing who has more churches. So that's one of the reasons there is so many. Who has more and the bigger churches. Alright, now what we'll do. So there's also the island here, the Hala Stulecia, where I went for the concerts quite recently, and there is the zoo and everything. So now what we'll do is we'll follow roughly this railway line, and it will get us somewhere. And the river Odra, yeah, the Odra river, Odra. So we'll follow this railway line until point Delta, and then we'll go straight in for touch and go in Szymanów. I've never changed the frequency, so let's pretend we switched it, and let's get the next frequency. So that's 124.115. Now I'm happy I noted this down because it's all here. 124.115. It's nice that it also shows, so this thing has a database and it shows what frequency I'm on, which is super nice. Heading to Przepole. Yes, Przepole is over here. The Tecnam and Kełczów, which is growing a lot. Yeah, somewhere over here. Here we cross yet another river. There is a big shopping mall over here. See, there's the downtown over there, the mountain where you came from. And this thing, this is a bike road. It's no cars, only bikes. And same on the other end. And it's just so lovely. You can go here and here on the river, or here around the island. and it's very friendly for bikes. I forgot the name. 5 years ago. Corona is the name. So now, before we get completely lost, let's reassess our position. So we now, following that, we pass the river over here-ish. And then there's like Siepola and Mirków. And is that Długołęka? I think so. And that's where that big forest cuts into the town. Oh, there's another big forest and the highway. So I'm gonna try to keep track of it, but it may not be easy. One feature that I see is that the railway departs a little the road. See, that's very easy to see, and that's what we are seeing right over here. Railway and the roads, they split a bit, and there's the highway going left and right. So see, even so the plane is slow, it's all happening fairly fast. Galeria Dominikańska, that's its city center, like super downtown. Also there's like this quarry over there, something. So that is Poland Delta, right around here. And from there we need to go like 260, 270, no, 280, 290 for approach. So let's go there. I think 290 is gonna cut it. And we'll also contact Szmanów. Alright, I enjoyed it more than I anticipated. It was a good idea to do this flight off stream as well. Oh, see, there's those little lakes here. I think those are those little lakes over here. No, actually no, there's more. So those are the lakes here. Oh, I turned way past. Lakes, the highway. What I usually like doing is reading the contours of the forest, but I struggle with this a little with Navigraph for some reason. And our next destination should be back in front of us somewhere. Right, I'm trying to keep track. So we're just passing the lakes. Then there is the next forest with the two little lakes. So that's the forest with the 3 little lakes. So let's go over here. See, that place here is that place here. 3 little lakes and the forest. And then after that, we cut through that one forest. There is like a field area, forest city, the road, and then we are. So that we cut through the forest, the fieldy thingy, the towny town, and then the airfield should be somewhere over there. I think it's here. Yeah, there we go. See, those two things are the hangars, and that's the airfield. And honestly, like the view that we have right now, that's kind of your perception that you see. And like locating those airfields when you're new to this thing is so hard, because like, see, there's fields and trees and everything and buildings too, and you're like, what the hell is this airfield like? And the old guy's like, oh, it's over there, can't you see it? It's right here in front of you. I'm like, what? The Aeroklub Wrocławski. Yeah, straight to Aeroklubik. So I think what I'll do is we'll go over those halls, and then we should be right on track for long final. And see, this 80 knots is slow, but it can be fast. That's the bridge, the big one over there. So Knowing the lag marks is super nice, but also imagine if there's like 5 km visibility, which is your lower limit for VFR, and you only see like this far away. And it gets so much harder. Mr. Vex Freeze, hey Ristan, welcome. You're flying the little plane, which I flew a lot in real life. I have well over 100 hours in this little baby. And we're flying in my city where I live right now. So that's the city over there. We went from Mirosławice on the south. So we went from Echo Papa Mike Romeo through, Echo Papa Mike Romeo through Echo Papa Whiskey Romeo. Now we're Echo Papa Whiskey Sierra. We'll take the same route back. I hope you're doing well. It's nice seeing you again everywhere. Good to have you here. So that's the airfield, Aero Club 1, which as you can see is a little difficult to locate from the air. It doesn't have like a big red arrow or whatever arrow pointing at it, saying there's the airfield over there. So now it would have been a little better if I checked the runway heading. That's 3-2 and right hand pattern. Get this bad boy on 3-2. Right. I'll reduce power, fuel pump off, fuel pump on. Carpet was off on all the time. That's bad. Landing light down. And there's the runway. Oh, there's the runway, like this white stripe between the dark stripes. I'll go full idle. Speed check. Flaps takeoff. Right, happy with that speed. We're a little high, although that's pretty comfortable for me in this little baby. Keep that speed check, flaps full. And down we go. Right, let's keep this profile. Looks pretty good. Whoa. Let's keep those 60 knots. So between 55 and 65 I'm happy. But 60, let's aim for 60. More power, not too much. So I actually go here on a bike, and there is like a road behind the runway. You can actually stand here and watch the aircraft land and take off. Pretty nice place. There's the runway. Right, it will be a little long. That's fine. So I'll touch it, go into there, and we'll retract the flaps in there. Idle. Keep it. There we go. Full power. So sort of like bulk landing. Alright, now we need to accelerate, and the flap is generating massive drag. So not sink, try to fly level, but in very shallow climb, accelerate. Retract those flaps one notch. Now it will accelerate. Get this 60 knots and climb away. So that's a little tight when you do this maneuver, because you need to light lever or in a very shallow climb to accelerate, retract the flaps from full, from full to your takeoff configuration. So yeah, it can get a little tight. Alright, it's 200 feet, reduce power. Flaps up. Jeez, I forgot this again. Trim up, landing light off, fuel pump off. It's 500 feet. Turn crosswind. Right, one thing I've been forgetting is to get rid of that carpet, so let's that better next time. I think that's why I need to read the final check. So crosswind. I think 1300 will be our pattern altitude. So level up here, we are on speed, so I can reduce to 1900. There's the runway. Damn, it feels so good, like in this peak setup, also being able to look around. And because I know the plane and I know the place, it's much easier to see where everything is. Where when I fly in some random place, I'm like, where is everything? Everyone is doing well. How has your weekend been so far? It's been so gloomy over here. I spent all day at home yesterday. I had to go out today for the vote. And I went for some small breakfast as well. Alright, downwind. So, there's the runway over here. There's the hangars. Nice. So we'll do touch and go, and then our game plan will go left to Romeo, which is very easy to see from this distance. Right. Passing a beam, fuel pump on, idle, carpet on, landing light on. We go idle to bleed off the speed quickly, flaps take off. Now I can just add power to keep our speed. I like going idle in this phase, just briefly, because it lets me do everything much quicker. It bleeds off speed quick and nice, and everything is okay. So let's keep it on this speed, 65 knots. Now when the runway is like 45-ish degree behind us, we can do our turn for base. Keeping that correct attitude, I still struggle with that a little, although, to be honest, I'm not looking at my artificial horizon today, like at all. I just look outside, and this makes me very happy. Because normally in Sim the tendency is to look at the artificial horizon for absolutely no reason all the time, while in VFR you should be looking outside. Right, we can close the curve now on our base and start turn now. So our fuel situation, we can switch to the right tank. Right, I like turning a little earlier, so instead of overshooting, I make this little dog leg, like right now. That just makes me much more comfortable, but I don't always do it just right. Sometimes it's way off. Right, speed check, flaps full. Final check, fuel pump on, carpet off, flaps full, landing light on. See, I'm getting better. I love it. So, one touch and go, and off we go to Romeo. How are we doing time-wise? I think I've been live for 1 hour, 1.5 hours? So that's looking good. Are we by any chance gonna make it 3 hours? That would be fun. See, no power adjustments. So the speed is a little low. Right, round out, idle, flare, keep it up, keep it. There we go. Main wheels, nose wheel, flaps take off, gently settle the nose wheel, rolling over all these mleches and stokrotkas. Right. We are up in the air, accelerate. So it's very important not to sink in this regime of flight, but also it's important to accelerate, and like the margin is very tight. Easier. Yeah, there we go. Right, 200 feet. Also, the instructor will do like, cut over power. Oh, your engine died. What do you do now? And the thing we trained for, like, alright, there's a field here, like plus min left or right, 30 degree. Like, that's where I will land now. Not changing anything. Alright, good. Let's fly. So no looking for roads at this point, and really I think we prefer the fields to roads, because roads are not safe whatsoever. The cables, the cars, the people, I don't know, it scares me. Right, reduce power, flaps up, trim up. Fuel pump on, landing light. Fuel pump off, landing light off. It's 500 feet. So we can turn left on crosswind and then proceed direct Romeo. I haven't tried any slow flight and things like that in this aircraft, so once we get back, maybe we can try it on Mirosevic. So there's the Romeo here, the biggest bridge. There's the stadium over there. Yeah, so much easier when I know the place and we have such nice scenery. Right, I think it's time for me to take a drink. Right, 1500 feet, and we first level off, then accelerate, and only then reduce power. Otherwise, if you reduce power before accelerating, you'll be getting to your cruise speed in a very, very, very long time. Right, stream it, no hands. Actually, I'm now steering with my knees. That's what I do in the real plane as well. As long as it's streamed, the pitch is not an issue, but you need a lot of constant inputs on the ailerons. So I will use my knees to hold it briefly, not for a very long period, but briefly. Oh, that water was needed. My throat was getting a little sore. I think the 2024 sceneries are killing it for VFR. Like seriously, everything that's on the chart is also on here. Especially the forest. I love it, navigating by the forest contours and the water bodies and railway lines. Sometimes the roads work, sometimes they don't. So we'll switch now to... Actually, we wouldn't switch to Poznań Info because it's such a short distance. Would go directly to Echo Papa Whiskey Romeo 120255. Actually, I don't know. it depends. 120255. So contact them shortly before Romeo. They'll clear us into their space, and we go towards November, which is like this area. So I see the airport already. It's this big empty area over here. See, there is the terminal here and there's the runway. There's the Ryanair hangars. So November is somewhere here-ish. Now the altitude, tactical descent, no more Polish VFR flights. Yeah, I think so. Now with this aircraft, I'm actually happy to do it because I feel comfortable with this aircraft. And as you can see, the speed is also bang on. So now what I normally do is I rotate my map so that it's up where I'm going. It makes it much easier to navigate. But like the forests and the cities are not very easy to distinguish here in real life. So there is this fieldy area, which I think is just in front and below us, and then November I think is right over here. Does that make sense? Sort of. There's also the railway. Oh, the railway line. Have we passed the railway line already? Yeah, see, there's the railway line, so we're just passing it. And then there's the fieldy area. So railway, city, fieldy, November. So November is right bang in front of us. Right, so we'd report November and they would clear us into the pattern. Join right hand traffic pattern, runway 29. Let's get our big bad boy on 29. Is that 29? It's around here. So, zip forward a little to the track pattern. We descend to track pattern altitude, which will be like 1300-ish. I didn't bother to check the altitude. Also, like the prop disc, the visual is pretty nice. Like, you can see the prop disc, but it's not. It's kind of like in real life. It's there, but it's not interfering. It's lovely. Right. Shortly I'm gonna land in Ibiza. Enjoy the party. Right, Abeam. Fuel pump on. Idle. Carpet on. Landing light on. And seeing that time the speed already bled off, so flaps take off. And that power back. I really like this routine. After passing a beam, it makes it really nice and smooth. Did it put the song on? We're going to Ibiza, blah blah blah. You know the song. It's like the 90s song, I think. Okay. I haven't muted the mic yet. Like, I've been muting it a lot, but I haven't muted it when I was talking. So those 4 hangars are Ryanair maintenance hangar. And there was like 2 initially, then they added 2 more. Super nice. Right, let's close our carb heat. Let's start base to final turn. It's much easier for me to do this turn like in parts rather than overshooting. It's just way more comfortable. Now remember, pitch for speed, power for descent, for glide angle, which I still have a hard time getting used to. Right, speed check, flaps full, final check, fuel pump on. Now we should be on the right tank, which we are. Carpet off, landing lights on, flaps full. We need muscle here, yes. It's expensive commodity these days. Right, I'll try to land on center line for a change. That would be very desirable. Round out, rolling back power to idle. Keep that nose on the horizon. Alright, that was a little rough, but it was nice. Flaps up 1 notch. Full power. Wants to fly already. Lift off, accelerate. Initial climb, 16 knots. Climb with that attitude. ...200 feet, reduce power, flaps up, trim up, fuel pump off, landing lights off. Also this amp meter, no, it should be like not that much up. It should be like just slightly above 0, so that's a little awkward. Right. Bye bye. So now we proceed towards Sierra. So usually the way they name those points is November for North Point, Sierra for South Point. That's like pretty understandable. Now I go for Sierra, so there's this forest, city area, and it's like the southern part of the city area. So there's the forest here, there's the town area, and we're aiming like somewhere over here. I just saw it before the turn. Geez, I need to sit. Oh, there we go. I was adjusting my seat. Now we sit straight. Sit like that, Vex. Your neck is gonna thank you. So I was a little worried it's gonna be hard to navigate just with the map and not my position. But as you can tell, it's going pretty well. BRB, no worries, Pokra. We're here. So that below us is Point Sierra. Now we go to Point Golf. Which, if I remember correctly, yeah, I think it's somewhere over there or over there. Hang on. Let's check it. So from Sierra to Golf, we will be going like southwestish, and right, we pass this road, we pass the highway, there is this lone town, and then there is Golf. The altitude, so the highway I believe is right over here. We're going southwestish. We're passing this first line of towns. Now that lone town, I think that's it here. Yeah, so that's the lone town. Lone town over here. Is that lone town over here? And then our Point Golf is right over there. Right, I added way too much power, and that's why I'm struggling to keep the altitude. So just past this town, we'll switch to Poznań info, and we'll get our next frequency ready. Alright, let's say they're happy there's no traffic, so they get rid of us already. They switch us to Poznań info. We say hello to Poznań info. We are from Sierra, outbound Sierra, inbound Golf, and we proceed to Mirosławice. We get our next frequency ready, which I have noted here on my list, and that's 122205. See, now my speed is okay, but I need to adjust a little power. 122205. I wish we had CTAF on VATSIM in Europe as well. That would make it much more interesting, having to switch all those frequencies all the time. So there's Golf Run in front of us. Let's confirm it. So what we're looking for is a town with a road, a forest behind it, and one more small forest behind to the right. And if we look out here, there's that town, there's the road coming in, and there's that small forest behind it. So that looks okay. Also there's Mietków Lake. Right, so one muted mic today, not bad at all. One thing I like is I can like literally move my head up a little. This plane is pretty small inside, but I like this bubble canopy and the low-wing aircraft. It makes me feel like much more spacious. Right, I'll switch to Mirosławice, say we're over Point Golf. So I think what we'll do is we'll go to Ślęża, do some loops around there. I'll show you the mountain, and then we'll come back. No, it's actually pretty far. How are we doing time-wise? Oh, we have plenty of time. So we can do this. Let's push it. So let's climb a little. What do we say? 3,500? That should be okay. So we can keep it in the top of green range for climb. And remember, every 1,000 feet of climb, you lose 1 inch of manifold pressure, which we don't have manifold pressure indicator, but it will drop RPM a little. So at some altitude, you will have throttle full forward, although it's not generating full power anyway. Oh, we're getting right in that cloud. I also wanted to do some steep turns, some stalls. Let's see how this performs. Although the stall speed here is super low, so that's gonna be fun. I also like this line of mountains on the horizon, like it's really there. So it's just flatlands and then this line of mountains just popping out like nothing happened. 2500, it's not very high still. Actually, like, I'll get the plane a little quieter. You can enjoy the music a little more. And I lost my mouse. Now here it is. Right, 3500 should keep us safe for any maneuvers. So let's do that. I need to finally take a trek and hike in this mountain. It's not a big one, but it's a nice hike. Like 45 minutes up, 45 minutes down, give or take. Oh, that's my super fast tempo. And you can take a train there. It's not even that long a ride. I need to go there finally. Although the weather this weekend, absolutely not inviting for things like that. Right. Let's go to this 3500 first, and then we can do some maneuvers. Oh, I could have been climbing on a little slower airspeed. That would have given us a better climb rate. Right. There's altitude, level off, accelerate, on speed, reduce power. So that's our normal cruise setting. Now let's do the clearing turns. So 90 to the right. See if there's no one there. No one there. No, 180 to the left. And let's pick some heading. So let's pick the big S. That's probably gonna work. Alright, looks clear. So let's pick the big S. We like to pick some heading before this maneuvers so we know where to roll out. So let's start with 45-degree turns. Right. I'll keep 80-ish knots. So that's 30-degree. Oh, 45 section not marked. So 40. Or is that 45-degree? Yeah, let's keep that. And we're looking to fly straight and level. And keep that turn. So it's a little difficult once you get past this. Now the important part is to look on the horizon, not on your attitude indicator or vertical speed. Well, at your horizon and attitude indicator, not at your vertical speed, which has a bit of a lag. And roll out on the big S. And you normally reduce the power a little after the rollout, because you need more power in turn. So now let's do the same opposite direction. Adding power, keeping that nose on the horizon. As you can see, I'm not doing this perfectly. We are sinking a little, but it's a little better. It's more controlled. I still don't know the secret to do this perfectly. it's a little bit of a ride every single time I do it. Like the vertical speed goes up and down. I have a hard time keeping it straight, but it's within limits every time, so we're good. Right, I roll out on big gas and go straight into right turn again. Right, that's a little late. Now let's do 60-degree turn. So I'll add way more power. Now that's where it gets a little difficult, because it's difficult. It's even getting that 60-degree. Whoa, now look at that vertical speed. So that's not going great at all. Right, let's roll out here. Let's try to make it better next time. Let's get that altitude back. Right, there we are. Let's accelerate to 80 knots. Right, keep that power and let's try to do left now. Looks a little awkward. I don't think our nose should be that much up. Or maybe I'm not steering correctly. Alright, more practice is required. Let's roll out. Now let's try some stalls. So let's do clean stall first. I'll go idle and let's see how it behaves. So it should stall around here. Maybe a little lower, so 35-ish. Because the stall speed is for gross weight and we're a little lower than that. Let's keep it on the heading as well. So I'm trying to keep the altitude, pulling that stick back. There's the stall warning, which, as you remember, goes off before the stall. Now it's shaking a little. Oh, my joystick is shaking. And there is a stall. So it just... Right. Stick forward, get the speed, recover. There we go. Cool. Now we can try the same on flaps takeoff. There's a mountain over there, so maybe you can do a lap first and then do more maneuvers and return to the airfield. I think that's gonna work. And there's actually a radio tower on top of this mountain, so the thing you see, it is actually there. The building is a little smaller, though. Do we stay at 3000? Yeah, let's stay at 3000. Trim down. Right, let's keep this rental power setting for a while. Let's see how fast this baby can go. Fuel situation. So we should now be on the left tank. Fuel pump on. Left tank. Wait 5-10 seconds. Note the pressure. Fuel pump off. Safety landed in Ibiza. Well done. Oh, that's what you were doing. So that's the Ślęża for you. And the other one, Ratunia, I believe. I need to go for a hike here. It's such a nice place. And there's, I believe that's Wałbrzych over there. And Świdnica, I think. There we go. Wave at the tourists. Wałbrzych. Wałbrzych is pretty nicely situated, actually. It's just the city could need a little touch, but it's getting better. actually like it for hiking. It's such a nice place. Like there's a city surrounded by the mountains. Super nice. Never been to Wałbrzych. Oh no, you've been missing out. I mean, a little. It's a nice place. Oops. Getting the cloud. Alright, let's keep below this. Stay below this cloud. Now our airfield. Where could it be? So we are now here. Let's enter this up. So it should be like northeasty. Northeasty. So right in front of us somewhere. Right. Is that over here? No. Oh, it's over here. Right bang in front of us. See? The airstrip. It can be really difficult to locate those airfields. Do we do some more stalls? I think we're fine the stalls. Like, I just had a problem with this steep turn. I'm not sure if it's me not being able to do it correctly or it's the plane not doing it correctly. I think it's both. Steep turns are super difficult for me. Like, I've trained this a lot and I still struggle. Like, I can make it to meet the criteria, but I don't feel comfortable. Like, it's not second nature. Let's put it this way. Szklarska Poręba is separate. Yeah, it is. I can also take train there, but it's way more hours. Right. I'm super happy with this stick right now. Like, I think I have it in a nice place. I have the extension, so it's very long. It's like this long. So it's super cool. Oh, I know what we can do. That's the landing. Let's do it. You can find the field. So there's the field. So the way to do that is we go overhead. We announce, of course, before that we're gonna do that stick landing simulation, imitation. We go 1500 feet overhead. We announce it, and then we cut the power and glide. It's a very nice training. We do that a lot before your first solo, because you should be able to do that, and then it gives you like the ability to plan your descent. So that was 500 feet elevation plus 1500, that's 2000 where you need to be. Tactical descent, just watch not overspeed it. And we'll pick which runway do we pick. Let's pick that long. Actually, let's pick this one in front of us. 2000 feet. We can get our cruise power back on. And we'll do what? Left track pattern. Let's do left for the imitation. Left is just much easier to see for the pilot in command in the left seat. And we'll see how I handle that. The best glide speed, I think it's like 60, 65. So we'll announce we're 2000 feet above, imitating power of landing. So cut the power. Actually, we can't cut the power. We can switch off the engine completely because we're in the sim. But let's maybe not do that. So first, aim for 60 knots, because that I believe is our best glide speed. Let's trim it, aim for that 60 knots. Best glide speed give us the best range for the altitude loss. I wish I had... So I think that's runway like 36. That's what it looks like. And we maneuver onto downwind. So as you can see, this plane glides pretty well. Alright, bank on 60 knots. I still need to trim it up a little. We don't do any flaps until we are sure we can make the runway, because flaps give us extra drag and lower our glide distance. So we are now abeam. We're a little far, but that's fine. Right, I'll just make one continuous turn onto final and we see how that works. If we end up too high, there's too few tricks we can do. If we end up too low, there's no tricks we can do. It's better to be too high. A little too high, because if you're way too high, well, if you're awkwardly too high, you're in trouble. If you're way too high, you can just do the same thing once again. Alright, we are gonna make it, so I'll get flaps takeoff. We definitely are gonna make it, or are we? And I'll get flaps full at some point. Oh, actually I'll show you one thing, what you can do to extend your glide in ground effect. So if you go to ground effect and you start extending the flaps, it will keep you afloat a little longer. So if you're just short of the runway, and if your choice is to put it in the grass right here, or make it to the runway, you can start extending flaps. It will extend your glides. So I'm extending flaps now. And it should keep us afloat a little longer. See? There we go. Touchdown. That's pretty nicely done. Full power, lift off. Now, I have full flaps, so it doesn't climb very well. So shallow climb, accelerate, flaps up one notch. What if you're already flaps full? You can retract the flaps, but remember you will need to trade some altitude to gain that speed back up. So I can maybe demonstrate you. So it depends. If you're very low and you're committing to landing in front of you, it's better to keep those flaps at just settling down short. But if you have plenty of altitude, you can retract your flaps, but then you will need to trade some airspeed to get more speed. Sorry, trade some altitude to get more speed. I'll try to demonstrate that. But honestly, you wouldn't probably be in. I think what we can do is I can demonstrate that to you. If you are on downwind and we lose power and we are already like flaps takeoff, because I'll be leaving stream shortly to vote. Cool, good luck voting. So say you're here and your flaps take off. So if that happens now, if I lose my engine now, I would absolutely go flaps up. And if I go flaps up, I need to trade some altitude to get my airspeed. So see, I'm nose down a little, get my airspeed back. And so I traded a little altitude for increased performance from now on. So that's the choice I make. And say if we were, let's make a shallow. Like a shallow final on full flaps. So let's get flaps full. I'm very careful here not to stall it. So if your flaps full now and you lose the engine, like imagine if I had to nose down to get some extra speed right now, that wouldn't be very safe. So even if I'm risking landing short, I don't want to nose over to get that extra airspeed now. If we were like aiming short, because if I go flaps up now, see it's sinking a lot, so it's not very helpful. I think you get the idea what the choice is about here. That was flaps up, a little rough. Let's do one pattern and I think we can end it. I'm feeling a little exhausted, but also there's more in the day coming up before me. Also, I forgot those final checks again. Ooh. Let's make this one nice. Maybe 2 more patterns, 1 more pattern. I'll send tail brake. 200 feet, reduce power, flaps up, trim up, fuel pump off, landing lights. Oh, they're off all the time. Right, last pattern, and we call it a day. I've got more things coming up in the day, and I need a pee break. That's why I don't drink a lot when I'm flying, so I get myself absolutely dehydrated. It's just controlled dehydration, which is not great, but it's convenient. So, not a great choice. Also, any suggestions who do right, let me know. We're doing that very shortly. I super enjoyed this flight. I love the plane. It feels very familiar, so being at home is great. Also, I know the area, so we could see. I was pretty spot on all the landmarks, although as you see, it still takes some effort. Right, we're a beam. So, fuel pump on, idle, carpet off, on, landing lights on, bleed that airspeed, speed check, flaps takeoff. Now we get in shallow descent, add some power back. Always stay hydrated, but not when you need to pee very soon and you're strapped in this place with absolutely zero toilet whatsoever. Oh, there's a chart here. So yeah, honestly, I just control my fluid intake. You can pee in the bottle. In theory, if you're very desperate, you can, but yeah, it's just imagine peeing in the bottle when you're in your seat. And the plane is moving around and you have to fly it as well. Right, blast full. Carpet off. I think I need to learn just flaps full and carpet off. That's the way to go. Right, I'll get to the high end of the wide speed arc so we can lose that altitude. More speed gives us more drag. It's still gonna put us a little long. So if you want to descend steeper, the higher speed is the way to go. Although remember, you'll need to bleed off that speed, which will give you some more, what do I say, float. Right, round out, float, flare, final check. Let's say it's been done, and there's touchdown. Nice. Whoa. Right, on grass we usually don't step on the brakes, like there's in those slow planes, there is zero reason to do that. Flaps up, fuel pump off. I'll taxi left into this other runway, and we'll try to go back where we started. There is the marker. They are usually like concrete elements, painted white all over. So we go somewhere in front of those hangars there. All right, 2024 is becoming good. Like it's finally getting in place. It's still rough around the edges. There's still a ton of issues, but at least it's usable now. Like this flight, I didn't have too many issues. Other than that, maybe my top menu is not showing up. Nicely done. Thank you. Let's go over here. And we'll try to taxi into those hangars. I hope it's gonna work. Whoop.
Hello there.
Hello there. Whoa. Lady Fuse, welcome. Nice to see you here. Welcome. Oh, I think there was a taxiway that missed over here. The airfields aren't usually that bumpy, although they can be pretty bumpy, and taxiing plane on that looks a little like that, so we need to keep our speed under control. They are a little rough. We're just ending the stream very soon. We did some patterns, some flying around in this new aircraft. I really enjoyed it. Let's park it right here. And all those mleches and Skrotkas. Alright, parking brake set. Our taxi / landing light off. Avionic master off, generator off, pitot heat off. Now, in this aircraft, we just turn off the magnetos because there is no mixtures you can pull. Right, have to go. Everyone, take care. Bye bye. Bye, Pokra. Thanks for coming. Good luck, Vok. Master off. We can get our fuel tank to off. And that's pretty much it. We can open the canopy. Is the pig work is real? That's the real simulation. I need to run. I need to run. You can hold this to get it back. And there we go. You get on the wing here and disembark to the back. I thought there's actually not. Sorry, disembark to the front. There is a step you can take here, but you do not step on this part here. So, that's lovely. I liked it. Let's see who you can ride. Thanks for coming. Let's see. Oh, Pokra, that was you gifting us up to Bono. Thank you, Pokra. I didn't notice that until now. Pokra, the legend. Thank you, thank you. Right, everyone. I had a blast. The plane is really good. I think it... Oh, one issue I didn't show yet. The PBR on this thing, in certain light, it can look black, even though the panel is white. But it's just a minor texturing issue, so no big deal. Honestly, I'm pretty happy with the plane. Like, few small issues maybe here and there, not deal breaking. I love not having the GPS. And it just looks so nice. I think it's best looking aircraft from this dev. Okay, let me see who's up, who we can ride. Oh my god, the P-Berg is real. I need to run. I need to run. Yay, super nice flight. I'm really happy being back in this plane. It just feels like home. And also flying around the place I know so well. Much easier, much smoother. So great. Sid is up. Let's ride Sid. Right, ride is up. Next stream will be on whenever. So, I'll see you then. Thank you for coming again. I had a blast. Let me kill the music so I can hear the stream you're about to write. I can get you the birdies, so... Bye. Bye, Ristan. Thanks for coming. Great to have you here. Lee Diffuse, thank you for coming. Thanks for the stream. You're very welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed it. So, the music is off. I need to get it on for myself. We go to the ending scene. Oh, that's the plane I flew in real life as well, the big Tecnam. And we are good to go. So, thank you. I'll see you around. I had a blast. Early stream nice, short stream nice. Happy days, happy days. Have a good rest of the weekend. I really enjoyed it, and thank you very much for coming. Bye bye bye.